to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, it's a beautiful day.
We're back. For the first time in forever, we're coming to you with part one of our epic February trip report extravaganza, a look at our Disneyland escape. But first, travel news, including masks are out at Disney World and Universal Orlando, touring the Game of Thrones studio, and Iceland's unsavory winter festival food. Grab a corndog and watch out for toads and automobiles. It's time to hit the trail with the Gold Key Adventurers Society.
Welcome back to another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. My name is Dan Leonard, and joining me this week in the studio is Heather Strait.
Hello.
And Mr. Jeff Williams.
Thank you so much for having me, Dan.
I'm so happy to have you. Our show, as always, is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Does anybody remember how we do the rest of this whole podcast thing? Because I'm holding a blank at this point.
It hasn't been that long, Dan.
It feels like it's been that long. It's been like 2 weeks.
Maybe Heather has a news item she can share with us to get us rolling.
Did you guys hear that mask mandates are being lifted at our favorite theme parks across the nation?
No, we sure did.
Yeah, it's pretty much all of them, really, right?
Universal. You're talking about Knott's Berry Farm, right?
Yeah, I assume.
Six Flags over Georgia.
Universal started it off. They fired the initial shots.
They always do.
That's
Which they tend to do.
We're done.
Their middle name is YOLO.
And everybody once again is saying, if you are fully vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. If you are not vaccinated, please continue to do. I think we all know what that means.
At BTW, we're not checking vaccination status.
Exactly.
I like the difference in wording from Universal to Disney, though, because Universal was like, it's highly recommended that unvaccinated guests continue to wear masks. And Disney said, we expect that unvaccinated guests will continue to wear their masks.
Just like they did last time we dropped the mandate.
Okay, Dad.
You should really lower your expectations. Have you met Americans?
Yeah, have you met the people who are not vaccinated and do not want to wear masks?
Right. Interesting that Disneyland dropped it because they hadn't ever. Right? They had never gone to no masks indoors.
They're really tired of their own breath.
Yeah. So it's Disneyland and Disney World starting February 17th, I believe, is when they both are dropping them. And Universal did a few days ago, I think. So
I have a theory. I know that Universal was ready to do it, and they always were, but I think Disney decided to because nobody wants to be wearing a mask at Galactic Star Cruiser. Pay a gazillion dollars to do that and be in that experience and all that role play, and you're not going to be in there wearing a mask.
I could wear a Kylo Ren mask.
And I think that'll help with people not canceling. Because imagine if you're in that whole thing the whole time, having to do your dumb make-believe crap.
It's only Universal Studios Florida, Universal Orlando Resort. Hollywood guests are still required to wear them because Universal Studios Hollywood is in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles still has.
No, LA County announced that they were dropping.
Did they just today?
Yeah.
No, as of the article I'm reading right now, that was February 15th, says Universal Studios Hollywood will continue to require guests to wear masks since the park is located inside Los Angeles. Unless that changed today.
Yeah, I think it did. Or yes, it's just the outdoor mask mandate that they lifted.
Indoors, they still are requiring them inside. Yeah.
Yes.
And at Universal Studios Hollywood, you have to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test to even enter the park. Which is,
I wonder if that's a labor union thing out there, because it probably falls.
It could be, yeah. It's because of LA County, and and Universal Studios Hollywood is still a working studio, so that probably has a lot to do with it. You're right.
Yeah. They have all kinds of special rules out there.
But it seems we're at February now. How long did we go last
3
year?
months.
They were, 3 months that we didn't have to wear masks indoors, and then it went right back.
It was June, July, August. And they were right back. Or maybe not even that long, because I think it was in the middle of August when it started.
Yeah, Disney World went back to masks. It seemed like pretty quick. We had one trip, maybe. Where we
I went once with my family, and I think we went one, too.
Yeah.
It was no mask, and then it was right back.
I'm interested to see how long this is going to last. Are we finally going in the right direction, and are we finally learning to live with it, letting people make their own personal choices about their risk tolerances? We'll see.
I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
And it is weird. There are still times I'll throw a mask on because I just get the skeeves. And I know whatever, maybe science doesn't back that up, but it just makes me feel better to not be breathing in so many cooties.
And I think we're going to keep masks on airplanes for a while. I think it's going to be at minimum several months before
I
that
saw
gets
a
lifted.
headline. I didn't read the whole article, but said the CEO of a European airline said he expects that to stay forever.
I did read that, and I don't buy it. I don't think it's going to be forever. But I do think we still are looking at several months before they consider. I think officially right now that order only goes through March. But I don't know. I get the feeling that it's going to be extended for a bit. I guess we'll see. The CDC did lift the, what are we calling it? The risk level on cruises. What were they calling that?
From very high to high.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks,
yes.
CDC.
These other countries, the State Department gets you worried about Mexico for that, but they're the same risk level as this country.
Absolutely.
They don't ever say that. They just say Mexico's not doing well, but so are we.
And most cruise lines are so much safer than just your local grocery store. Just about every cruise line. Oh, yeah. Just about every cruise line requires vaccinations.
I've yet to see a rock climbing wall in my Kroger.
No, we don't have that around here, or even a bar.
We do have a few with bars.
Yeah. The ship that I was just on, I had so many COVID tests. I needed 2 PCR tests and proof of vaccination before I could even set foot on the ship. And then the second we boarded, we were given an antigen test, and we were tested every 2 days. And we had to wear masks in shared spaces.
You don't want to get COVID out there on the penguins.
Yeah, or anywhere you're on a ship, it's best. And they're all very safe. And I feel much safer on a cruise ship than I do just on a local restaurant. That is something that needs to change quickly, is the CDC needs to be realistic about cruising, that they're not being. It continues to be vilified, and it's just not right.
It seemed like in the last 2 or 3 days, just everybody's mask mandates and other stuff is just starting to fall.
We covered all the COVID news. It's fit to print. I can't wait till we
have
remove
none.
This
just no
segment
more
from our show. I'll be excited.
You mean because they've already changed the rule back, or because we're boring and stupid sounding?
No,
just because I'm tired of
COVID is done. That's what
going
we want.
back and forth on. Hey, the news is now we don't have to wear masks.
I thought you meant editing it out of this recording because the rules already changed again.
No, just out of my life.
Let's not have that happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did want to say one other thing. Speaking of enclosed spaces, so at Disney World and Disneyland, on their buses and other indoor transportation options, you do still have to wear a mask. So like Skyliner, boat, monorail, bus. Why is that?
I suspect it has something to do with the federal transportation rules, because any public bus, even a city bus, is regulated federally, and you still have to wear a mask. So that's my guess. Because they have to make you wear them on the bus, they might as well go ahead and say that you have to on the monorail, on Skyliner.
The Skyliner is the dumbest one. I'm sitting in there you could be sitting there with just your spouse, and then let's wear a mask.
Yeah.
You'd think that they'd somehow pull some kind of crap where they reclassified all of those things in the boats as attraction and not transportation, so they could get away with not having masks. But they didn't come up with that idea because they haven't decided to hire me for their corporate team yet.
Why not, Dan?
because
I think you didn't apply.
Bob is
also,
a big dumbass. Well,
did you send in your resume?
I don't think I'd be fired for insubordination.
Yeah.
I think as soon as
Pretty
I met
quickly, yeah.
that big toe in charge in the front.
I
office.
wondered if maybe it was like a negotiated labor union thing, if the transportation people were part of a different thing, but the federal
could be.
transportation thing makes good sense. Maybe that's it. I've never used any of their transportation options, so I wouldn't know.
Not recently, anyway.
I just have my helicopter pilot drop me off on top of
So you're
Club
that jerk
33.
that was buzzing around over Hollywood Studios every
Yes.
5 minutes last time I was there.
Yeah, it's the plane that rides Win with Jesus that just drops me off outside.
Nice. Let's see. We just talked about what news we were going to talk about, and I already think I forgot about what else we wanted to talk about on this episode.
Is there any interesting tours going on?
Any interesting tours? Oh, hey, there is an interesting tour if you're into
Standing around
incessant
talking
little
and banging
people.
your sister.
Oh,
Yeah, good news. In Northern Ireland, you can take a tour of the set or the studio tour for Game of Thrones.
That would
Jeff,
be cool.
have you ever seen Game of Thrones?
I watched part of one episode, and once I was finished, I turned the TV off and stopped watching.
They say it is a completely immersive experience with, it's like the Harry Potter studio tour where they have the fully dressed sets and
Or
that you
undressed
can
in
walk
the case
through
of this show.
along with costumes, original props, and weaponry from the Game of Thrones universe.
You think it has the Starbucks cup still in there?
That was my favorite thing that happened.
that thing belongs in a museum?
That's so
does.
funny.
It's
that
just
happened.
as well known as, yeah.
And there was another one where there was a dude in jeans in some battle scene.
Yes, it was some lackey that shouldn't
Yeah.
have been in the shot.
That kind
Eating
of
an
crap
apple, wearing
happened.
some jeans.
Yeah.
Apparently that kind of thing is like really super common though, because I've also seen a screenshot, I want to say it's from Game of Thrones, with a pickup truck in the background of a battle scene.
Whoops.
Yeah, and there was
Yeah.
some dude in The Mandalorian, too, just like a set guy that was like just
Well,
hanging out while Darth Vader was... Or no, it was
Star
Mandalorian.
Wars
It was some
person.
Star Wars-y thing. I was trying to think if it was Star Wars or if it was that scene where Darth Vader's coming kicking butt at the end of the Rogue One.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
But all those hallways look the same. There's just some dude in the corner. He's like peeking around. Am I in the shot? Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
You can see the camera. It can see you.
It used to be you got excited just to catch a boom microphone out of place or something. Now you can look for all kinds of fun
Did you
Easter
say
eggs.
boom or boob?
Boom,
Okay.
boom.
That's a different kind of microphone. That's what I'm using here is the boob mic. So I've never really watched Game of Thrones, but I love any kind of studio behind the scenes anything. I think that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you get to see the set type stuff.
Yeah, and just like the show itself, it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah. Take the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe don't.
Or your brother.
Yeah,
or
just
sister.
bring your brother and sister, go on a date.
Speaking of unsavory, I've got the next greatest. Actually, this winter festival is wrapping up for this year right now. It is an Icelandic festival that I wanted to tell you about. Yeah, we've talked about Iceland a few times.
They have
It's
weird
always a
fish
little-
dishes.
They're gross.
Yeah, we're going to get there. So this is their traditional
That's
winter
what she said.
festival. It's called Thorablot, and it's actually going to be wrapping up. What's today's date? It's going to be wrapping up just a couple of days before this episode drops on the 19th. And it is a midwinter feast held from the first Friday. Man, I love when they have weird conventions for picking when things fall on the calendar. So this falls the first Friday after January 19th is when it starts.
Why don't you just say the date?
Right?
Well, because
Why
it's
would
different
they
every
say
year.
that?
Because it's different every year. It's like how Easter moves around. But anyway, so it starts off, actually, it has a lot in common with that Scottish feast, the Burns Night, where they celebrate Robert Burns by, so they start off with poems and speeches in praise of Thor and their ancient gods. And then it takes, just like at Burns Night, where they bring out the haggis at the end and everybody
Gross.
eats that delicious haggis, they eat some, it's described winter in food form. It's traditional Icelandic dishes that they use every part of the livestock, and they're preserved in all the interesting ways that
Ew,
the Icelandic
fermented
people
shark.
use. Yep, that's on there. I was going to go through this, through a list real quick. Plus, it gives me a chance to say some really fun foreign words. So there's hangaket, which is the
always
hung
loved
and
this part.
smoked lamb meat. They like to eat whale, especially
like
the fibrous
lamb.
fatty tissue. Yeah, lamb is delicious.
No, thank
But
you.
you're not
on
going
the
to like the
whale.
lamb that we talk about in a minute because it's going to get nasty.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Which part of the whale? The
It
blubber?
just says the fibrous fatty tissue from the underside of the animal, and they like to pickle it in sour whey. So let's take some spoiled
Rotten
milk, pickle whale blubber with it. There's of course the
Gross.
fermented shark meat, which is ripened by burial in the ground for a certain length of time to make it decompose to just the right stage of decomposition.
Oh my
it's like
gosh.
shark kimchi.
Gross.
Yeah, but even more disgusting. And then we've got some more sheep coming up, but this is called
no.
svid. And svid is the singed sheep's head and legs, which are sawed in half, cooked, and eaten fresh or soured.
Oh no.
You can all, Yeah.
Sheep's head.
Ooh.
Don't worry, they boil it to remove the hair from the sheep's head before.
There's still just a few little hairs that wind up.
You can also get that svid in the jellied variety. So it's like a nice, what do they call it? Aspic when it's like in a jellied.
Gross.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm taking
about-
Iceland off
That's
my
good
bucket
on a
list.
bagel, though. That squid jelly.
Ugh.
Ooh, yeah. What's even better on a bagel?
Yes.
Fruit is soured ram's testicles. So I guess you bring back that.
Oh
How
no.
are these soured?
I'm assuming that
The
means you
ram
bring back
walked
that.
around in jeans all day.
Yeah, he mowed the lawn in his jeans. Yeah, I've had that.
I'm assuming you bring back that spoiled
Gross.
milk and you dunk the nuts in the milk. Why do people listen to the show? There's
Why do people-
Lundabagar.
Why do people go to Iceland? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. It's beautiful this time of year, apparently. I don't know.
But I'd be starving.
But bring Lunchables.
Yeah. Lundabagar are loin bags.
I'm sorry.
What?
Or what?
Loin bags?
Is that like a ball sack?
That sounds like a testicle.
It's sausages made from the neck tissue or sirloin of the sheep, wrapped in the sheep's colon and some suet,
Ah!
and then sewn up in the like stomach lining of the sheep. So it's like an extra nasty haggis,
Haggis,
apparently.
yeah.
That's
Yeah. They also eat seal flippers,
oh.
That sounds
hard
good.
fish, whatever that is. I don't.
The
Jeff
seal
can tell us what
flippers are
hard
like
fish
a
is.
crispy chicken wing.
Oh yeah, I bet you that's nice. You
Okay.
dip it in a
Chicken
little, like
foot.
some dill, maybe some tartar sauce.
Oh.
Squeeze some lemon on there.
Okay, maybe the seal flippers I could eat. Maybe.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, just fry up a pair of scuba flippers and it's probably about the same.
I would assume so. And so to wash down all this delicious food, you drink a traditional Icelandic schnapps called Brennivin, which translates to Black Death,
Oh
which
no.
is like the most metal alcohol ever.
It's like
Yeah,
Jaeger.
it's
I want to
in
know
it.
what it tastes like. Let me Google that real quick.
Black death.
Black Death. There we go. Schnapps made out of fermented potato mash flavored with caraway seeds.
Yeah, this Jägermeister.
Yeah.
Caraway's got that
Anise.
anise kind of flavor.
Yeah. Tastes like eight.
Tastes.
Anise. I love Jaeger, so I bet I would
Yummy.
like that.
Jeff loves anise.
Yeah,
I
he
can't get the
does.
pronunciation, but anyway. So there's Portblot for you. Let's all go to Iceland.
No
and-
thanks. I'm taking
I'd
it
love to
off
go to
my
Iceland,
bucket
but I'm
list.
concerned with their food.
I'm going to be bringing lots of boxes of granola bars.
I
Yeah.
man, I can't. Let's see. Oh, here, you guys aren't going to be very happy with me, but I'm going to show you a picture of Svid.
Oh no.
Oh, dang it. I blurred my background. Might not be able to see it.
Hold it in front of yourself.
Ew.
It might be better if you just Google it for
That's-
yourself. You probably want to see what it looks like.
SVID.
Yes, SVID is very lifelike.
Which was the one that was the seared ram's head pickled?
That's what that is.
That's this
Svid.
one.
Oh,
Okay.
gross.
Yeah, sheep's head cut in half, singed to remove the fur, and boiled with the brain removed, sometimes cured in
Oh,
lactic
there's
acid.
still teeth. Ew.
Yeah, dude.
That's
there's still teeth.
disgusting.
Oh,
No,
Oh dear.
I cannot. That is gross.
I like the little balls down below his face.
Yeah, it is served with the assorted
Ugh.
mashed root vegetables there.
His eyes still in there?
I don't know. That's a hearty lunch, though.
Not really, because I wouldn't eat much of it.
No, thank
I'd
you.
pluck out an eyeball and then call it done.
I wonder if those teeth get like
Gross.
crunchy.
I'll fight you for the eyeball, Clark.
Man, I bet you all those people who downloaded this show because they Googled "We Don't Talk About Bruno" are really regretting coming back for a second episode.
We don't talk about
no.
Not anymore. Never again. Well, stick around because after the commercial break, we're going to hear all about Heather and Jeff's epic Disneyland adventure.
When it comes to planning your next adventure, knowledge and preparation are always key. That's why a call to your Key to the World Travel Vacation Planner should always be at the top of your to-do list when you feel the urge to venture forth and explore the world. Key to the World Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner, specializing in travel to Disney theme parks around the world, as well as Disney Cruise Line, Aulani, and Adventures by Disney. With over 450 travel advisors who share a deep love for Disney destinations, Key to the World Travel has a wealth of knowledge and passion to help you experience all the magic with none of the work. Wherever your wanderlust is driving you, Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency with the expertise to get you where you want to go. So whether you're headed to Universal Studios, Hawaii, Europe, or somewhere a little farther off the beaten track, your first step should always be to visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a no-obligation quote. Their expert travel planners are standing by to help you with every detail of your perfect vacation. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com or at Key to the World Travel on Facebook. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation.
And we're back. So you think back 3 or 4, 6 months ago, it feels like. When was it?
It was the 29th.
It was the 29th of...
oh, no. It was the 25th, 4th. I don't know. We were in Disneyland recently.
It was January. You guys were in Disneyland recently.
The last week of January.
Yeah. It was for the first time
home and then immediately went to the Antarctica.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was the first time in forever for you guys, right? Had you been
3
recently?
3 years? Hadn't it?
It had not been since we had the opportunity to do the Adventures by Disney Backstage Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that was 2018, 19?
Yeah.
20?
I think we figured out that it was at least 3 years since we'd been out there.
I think the agency trip was like right before the
hey, you know what?
global
when I went last, Max Pass was new. And we didn't wind up really using it. No, 2017 is when Max Pass came out. So I didn't really use it then because we were having KeyCon. And then that next time I went was the ABD, and I didn't need to use it. So this was my first time using Genie out there.
Mm-hmm. That was actually my first time using Genie. Mm-hmm. And so I honestly didn't know what to expect because the reviews for Genie have been so awful. Yeah. And I loved it.
They're mixed, too, though. I see people that love it and people that hate it. I think it's kind of luck of the draw of what you get. But for us personally, at Disneyland, with the size of the parks and their closeness to each other, you could get there in the morning, get your Genie going. We traveled and got there around noon, and we're in a park at 1, and we rode...
So many
Rise
things.
of the Resistance. We got a thing for 20 minutes later for Rise of the Resistance. Yes. It was one of the individual lightning lanes that you pay for. So we paid $15 for that. But we got on it and with no wait, 20 minutes after we opened the app and got in the park.
Halfway through the day. Yeah. And then we rode Big Thunder. We rode Indiana Jones.
We got one for Space Mountain, but then the ride broke, so they gave us another one that we used for something else. Then
we were able to use it on whatever we wanted, so we did that.
Oh, that's right. So then we got another one for Space Mountain. The ride was still down, so they gave us another anytime. So we did a bunch of rides. Oh,
stood in line for Winnie the Pooh. Haunted Mansion, we used it for.
That was the other one. And then we rode Winnie the Pooh on our own. This was always a delightful ride. And then went over across the street. Literally, if you've never been to Disneyland, when you park hop, you could almost hop on one foot to the next park. It's right across
I'm going to do that
promenade.
Next time.
Yeah, we went over there and rode Guardians of the Galaxy. Just boom.
With our anytime you can use on any attraction because we're sorry, Space Mountain is still not up and running.
So, that was a pretty good
we
upgrade.
Didn't even
land.
We didn't even land at the airport. No, we didn't come into LAX. We came into John Wayne. So it's only about a 20-minute ride from the airport to there. But we landed at noon and rode all that stuff and then went and had drinks with friends and still went to dinner at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Like, jeez, crazy.
I loved it. It's so easy to use. Honestly, it's so much like Max Pass out there. I think maybe that's why it gets better reviews at Disneyland, because it's so similar to Max Pass and everybody was used to it.
They were used to it, and they never had Fast Pass Plus.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things. I think the difference between the two parks or the two resorts.
Things don't sell out right away because, let's face it, the locals aren't buying it.
Yeah.
Really, that's what I was noticing. Yeah. And you don't pre-buy it there. You buy it the day of, and you buy it when you're in the park. So you're not back at your hotel.
Just how Max Pass works.
You're not back at your hotel at 7 a.m. booking stuff. You're not doing it until you're in the park. And I think that's
I don't know. They should do that at World.
That's how it should have been done at Walt Disney
100%.
World.
I think it would work better.
They were trying to appease the people that were used to pre-booking their Fast Pass Plus. So they're like, well, not quite commit, but I think it would be better because everyone would have a more even shot. Because now by 7:10, apparently you can't even get most of the big rides.
Yeah, and those are the individual lightning lane that you're paying extra for. Rise of the Resistance still sells out at Walt Disney World, and it did not. Now, it was pricey. Rise of the Resistance in individual lightning lane was $20 a person.
Oh, it was 20. I thought that said
20.
15. So.
15 was
Thank you for embarrassing me in front of our listener.
It was $15-20. That's expensive for one ride. Yeah. But it was worth it.
That ride's always worth it.
We got in the line and I thought, oof, we just paid $20 and this is going to be still a long wait. And it wasn't. It looked like it was going to be, but they took us pretty much into the briefing.
We went right into where Ray comes and talks and BB-8's there. Like, boom, right on the ride. Awesome.
It was fantastic.
I love that every time. Have you ever finally ridden it, Dan?
No.
Oh, next week.
I'm hoping next week we'll get on it. But as you said, it's selling out immediately, daily at Walt Disney World. So I'm still not. We'll see. Basically, our goal for the day we're at Hollywood Studios to just do Star Wars Land USA. But so fingers crossed.
Yeah. Then we used Genie every day, and it was phenomenal. We used they only have 2 rides out there that are on the individual lightning lane that you have to pay extra for: Rise of the Resistance and Web Slingers. And we did both of them. I think Web Slingers was the one we paid $15 for.
Oh yeah.
And we did both of them. It was worth it not standing in line because I don't like standing in line.
For sure. And I wanted to ride it. And that ride is it's exactly Midway Mania. But Spider-Man.
Yeah. And you're, instead of having an actual, you got that sort of
I didn't hurt my knuckles like I do on the little string.
Yeah. It's just your hands. It's almost like you're punching.
I'll tell you this. They tell you to do this. Imagine that you're doing the Spider-Man hands with the thumb and the 2 fingers out and the other 2 fingers down, and you do like you're punching. So you aim.
Shooting webs.
The accuracy is really, my accuracy sucks, but the accuracy of it, reading your hand movements is crazy. But what I discovered on this ride is my left hand is nearly crippled with carpal tunnel syndrome. Did not realize that till this moment.
Did y'all buy one of those cute little spider bots to affect your gameplay experience on the ride?
We did not.
That affect your game? We didn't even walk in the store, I don't think.
We did. We walked in that store for briefly, and it was so crowded, we ran the other way.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about they somehow can power you up in the game or something like that. I don't know.
Those things are silly.
Go ahead.
I had a spider bot. I was given a spider bot by Disney back when Avengers Campus opened. And it was lame. We chased the cats around the house with it for 5 minutes, and then that was it.
Yeah. Then it became a door prize at a slightly used spider bot.
It was used for 5 minutes and then put back.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. It's cute. If I was 7 or 6,
yeah,
it's
definitely something for either a younger fan or somebody who's just really super into Spider-Man.
The thing about it is, Spider-Man doesn't have those.
He does in Spidey and His Amazing Friends.
Yeah, which came out to sell this toy.
Yeah.
The weird toddler version where the 6-year-old Spider-Man fights the inherently evil. I can get into it.
Okay.
I've never heard of this.
It's a brand new Disney Junior cartoon.
What I loved in Avengers Campus was that we finally got to see in person the flying Spider-Man robot.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like the only thing I want
cool.
out of Avengers Campus.
It is really cool. And I had forgotten all about it.
Yeah, we were walking by. What's everybody standing around for? Looking up here. So he's on top of the Stark. The whole thing with Avengers Campus, this was our first time to see it. So the storyline is that they took the Stark Industries campus where they used to make cars and then other high-tech stuff. When they moved to more high-tech things, they closed this campus down, and then Tony had the keys, so he goes back, and it's really dumb. But what the storyline is to fit into the fact that we don't want to build anything taller than the crap that was already here.
Yes.
So we're going to make it all look like an oldie times car plant.
Yeah.
With Spider-Man logo. So my thing, if you're building this training campus for the Avengers, would you put a giant symbol for each of the characters on the buildings? Like, here's where Spider-Man is if you want to kill him.
Yeah.
So silly.
It's the backstory is that it's supposed to be a place that the Avengers can all come and hang out and train together.
And naturally, they put it in the middle of a theme park.
And the show preceding the robot Spider-Man it's really lame.
It's just lame. It's the Spider-Man version of the Castle Show or Mickey and Minnie, or
he's doing hardcore parkour.
Yeah,
get around on
and
mats.
It's clearly 2 different body types too. So you get 3 different body types. One is the actor who's doing the voice. He's like mimicking as if he's talking to the recording, and he's doing the flipping and the turning and whatever. And it's cool. And kids, we saw so many happy kids.
Yes, the kids loved it.
And so he rappels down, he does this whole show, and then he's, I got to go, whatever, and fly out of here.
He's trying out something that Mr. Stark left for him.
That robot thing is so cool and so lifelike. It's crazy. Like, you don't for a second think that's not a human.
No, it was amazing. Just as cool as all the videos that we saw. It really is. And it's very quick. It's just he swings by and does some flips, one pass, and that's it. And people stand there for 20 minutes waiting for it.
We waited for 20 or 30 minutes to see the whole little lead up to it, which is 3 or 4 minutes long. And then he does the thing. But then he comes down, you see there's sound effects like he's coming down the stairs. And then obviously a completely other body type Spidey is down there to do the meet and greet.
Yeah.
But it's a great intro for the meet and greet. This land is full of those kind of shows. Doctor Strange does a show. They have the Eternals are in there, boring everyone to tears. They have fights break out. They have those whatever the warriors are from Wakanda, the ladies that come out, and she does a whole training thing with kids. It's like Jedi training. It's cool. The kids are eating it up. I thought the whole thing was dumb, but I'm a 50-year-old man. I'm not the target audience. But the snacks in there are cool.
Yeah, and the training stuff and the characters are out there pretty much the whole time. Black Widow is out there.
There's somebody doing something at all the time in there.
So we did a little photo op with Ant-Man. We just wanted
to get up there and do the crush thing because he's little, and then that didn't even work because my stupid iPhone was focusing
on the wrong thing. Yeah. But he was very into it and wanted to have very long conversations with everyone who came up for the photo. And we really were just like, a picture with Ant-Man.
Took a picture, and he goes, good talk. I'm like,
that's great.
I don't want to pretend you're Ant-Man and have a long conversation. I just wanted to get this politely in line.
It was pretty funny, though, and he said, good talk, and we walked away. I was just cracking up.
Way too long with the family in front of us. But this little boy was so cute, and he was so happy to be meeting Ant-Man. Like, he was losing
into it.
Kids are going to freak on this.
And honestly, many of our travel advisors who are 40, 50 years old were freaking out about it and dressing up and just absolutely loved every minute of Avengers.
So we saw Loki and Thor and
Captain America,
Guard and Black Panther and Captain America and
Black Widow. Doctor Strange, we never caught his show, but they're alternating Doctor Strange and the Eternals in the same area. Doctor Strange's set thing is so cool. It has the ruins of the Sanctum Sanctorum,
And then when he opens the door and comes out, there's a video screen behind him that looks like the whole swirly thing. And he comes out like he's beaming out of there. Super cool.
Mm-hmm. And there's a really great photo up back there that the ground is tiled in a way that when you're just standing there looking at it, it just looks like black and white tile. But if you put a camera up in front of your face and take a photo, it looks like it's a vortex that you're being sucked into. It's
like one of those
such a cool photo.
Sidewalk chalk art that only looks right from the right angle.
It's
Nice.
really cool. We horsed around.
I
with
love
that in the evening.
Disneyland Park, but I think for my money, Disney California Adventure gets me because it's just so different than the other parks that you've been to. The front little entryway, you're like, oh, this is like Hollywood Studios, but the whole rest of the park is so unique from the other Disney parks.
And Avengers Campus, the best thing it has going for us is my favorite ride at Disneyland. And it's
Spider-Man.
Not Spider-Man. It's Mission Breakout. Guardians of the Galaxy. Just absolutely love that ride.
Yeah. We rode it thrice or twice.
Yes.
Thrice.
So good.
We rode it all 3 days.
Yeah. Avengers Campus looks very cool at night. That was my favorite time.
I've never been in the parks much at night because I tend to go to the parks during the day and then have nice dinners and whatever at night. And so we had a nice dinner at Carthay Circle in California Adventure on our last night. And when we came out, the park had closed 40 minutes previous to that. And we just wandered around and did whatever we wanted. No one was making you leave, shuttling you out of there.
Just taking pictures in Avengers Campus.
Of empty, weird park.
We did we spent some time eating and drinking at Pim's Test Kitchen, which was great.
I was going to ask, did you have a giant meatball?
Yeah.
We did. We tried the meatball. We had the giant pretzel. What was Brad had a thing that's like a tiny slider bun with a giant piece of chicken on it.
Yes.
So it looks, the whole conceit is that things are either tiny or small. So I had
tiny or huge.
Tiny or huge. So I had a flight of beer that was done
tiny
like
little beers.
They were like little, not test tubes, but whatever, those little
beakers.
Yeah, beakers. Yeah, it was the cutest thing, and it looked like it was sitting on a ruler.
Yeah, and you get to take it home.
Look even smaller. Yeah. Nice. So I've got, I'm in the wrong room, but they're sitting on my dresser.
You get to take home the ruler and the beakers. It was very cool.
And the drinks were good. They have a lot of weird stuff, and they had a great beer selection, actually. I think Hank Pym's known for his beer drinking.
Apparently, yeah.
I don't know, but the inside of that place is cool because it's got like giant stuff and tiny things.
It's really cool. And the food was great.
Like his lab gone haywire.
It's a nice little there's an outdoor bar there where you can get all the beers and the weird drinks. And
when we were there, it was apparently it's gotten hot again since then, but it was
cool.
Perfect. We were wearing jeans and like a hoodie in the morning and t-shirt a day or something like that. It was probably like 70.
Yeah,
most of the time, cooler in the morning and night, but 70 during the day.
Perfect.
Awesome. So that's a great spot because you can see all of the character stuff. So on top of the what will eventually be the Avengers ride,
the Quinjet ride,
there's a balcony, and that's where all the fight scenes and fun skits happen.
We suspect that the Quinjet ride is going to be something equivalent to Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah,
it seems like it's following the same pattern where they open with the lame ride and then bring the good
I will say it was surreal for me walking around in Disneyland Park and then coming upon Galaxy's Edge. I forget that it's in Disneyland Park there. It's not in a
if you aren't really looking for it, you could easily not know it's there.
It's very well hidden there.
There are 3 entrances to that one versus the 2 that we have on the East Coast, and they're all hidden. They all work. One is over by Big Thunder Mountain. You just walk straight, and it looks like the rocks change from like Big Thunder color to the gray Star Wars town color.
And it's pretty much the same footprint as Hollywood Studios. It's a little bit smaller. That was the one thing I noticed about Rise of the Resistance. Yes, some of the rooms are just a tiny bit smaller. When you're in that room that has the ats, it's just a little smaller. And we approached. We were at a different angle than I was used to.
Yeah, we took a different path through that room. It went up on the side of them instead of in front of them.
But it's still the same ride.
Dan,
and
sorry.
yeah, you're going to love it, Dan. I just know it. You're going to love it.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
such a great ride.
Yeah, that surprising part where that one thing happens.
Yeah. Still the same.
Yeah, but
So
the actual land felt like everything was just a snip smaller
Just a
too.
little.
Some of the pathways between buildings felt smaller, and I don't know if
Makes
that was
sense.
because the berm that separates it is different or what, or if
Yeah,
it
I think
actually is smaller.
They just had to shoehorn it into a slightly smaller footprint.
Yeah, I think it's just different.
But then we just wandered around Disneyland the afternoon, enjoying the stuff that's unique to Disneyland.
Let me
Your
tell you, Disneyland
favorite-
has it all over Disney
Yeah.
World as far as streetmosphere and
Oh, yeah.
character interaction. They still have the wandering characters with
Mhm.
one handler and one guy, and they just wander through. They don't
Yeah.
line up and have a set. They just wander through, and you can get your picture. They'll stop and high five or grab a kid and interact or whatever. But we saw the Disneyland band came down the street, and
Oh,
we've seen them march many times. They're awesome. I always
Mhm.
enjoy them. The Disney World version is just as good. But the Disneyland band this time, never seen this before in all my times, was being led by Mickey Mouse.
it was one of
Who
my
was-
favorite things
Oh,
ever.
He was
Man.
leading them, and he would dance, and then he would stop, and he would start dancing, and then the guys that were playing the marching band would start mimicking his moves, and then he was getting them doing different stuff. He really was the leader of the band.
He
That's made
was.
for
It
you
was
and me.
fantastic.
It was awesome.
That's
It was all
awesome.
the way down Main Street from the castle all the way down with stop. It was like
so cool.
12 minutes or more
Mhm.
of them coming down the road. That's usually just a quick
Yeah,
down the
it
road.
was so good.
And then we saw the Dapper Dans on the steps. We saw the
Yep.
the Disneyland little jazz band play.
Yeah, they have live music everywhere there.
They do.
They had played
And
in front of the
this-
firehouse, and then we saw them back again. They have the Dixieland band back in New Orleans Square, and then they have the Pirates band playing back deeper in New
That
Orleans
I have
Square.
never seen before. The pirates singing the sea
That's-
shanties.
Mhm.
I've
they
seen
were
videos
fantastic.
of that. That's cool. Do they still have the Mary Poppins, the Pearly band in Fantasyland? Or
We
do they
didn't see them this
I
time,
didn't
but
see them, but I
yes.
think they're still
I think
there.
they
They
did.
didn't seem to have fired any of the Streetmosphere people there.
Weird.
Yeah,
And we saw lots of it in California Adventure too.
Avengers-
Flapper, Minnie Mouse. So good.
the stuff going on in the Avengers town is how they described Star Wars would be, where there was
Mhm.
going to be clone troopers that were doing stuff and arrests happening and people getting shot off buildings. And what they billed it as was like a Wild West stunt show sort of thing going
Mhm.
on while you're going through Star Wars. But I don't know.
And that's definitely happening at Avengers Campus. So I guess part of it is the culture in Hollywood, and you've got anybody you meet on the street is possibly an aspiring actor or actress. So
Yeah,
there's
that's true.
there's a big pool of talent, and it just makes those parks for me. The streetmosphere is so fun, and
Mhm.
we wandered around Disneyland for a long time just watching that stuff. But the pirates were funny singing the sea shanties. They sang this elaborate shanty and then at one point stopped and said,
Come on, everybody. And no one knew what they had
Right.
been saying. It was very complicated Irish brogue sounding
Yeah.
stuff. And then he goes, come on, everybody. People were like, and then never mind. And
Yeah.
they're so funny.
So good.
But the parks look fantastic.
Mhm.
In their defense, they had 2 years of closing time.
Yes,
that
they
could
did.
repaint
Spruce them
everything.
up.
Everything looks immaculate there. Their cleanliness is still as good as it ever was, which I think Disney World seems to,
Mm-hmm.
they can't rehire janitors or something. I don't know what's happening, but it doesn't just look as clean, but everything was pristine because it's all been painted and kept
We
up.
had housekeeping service at Grand Californian.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic.
What you're saying is, forget about Orlando. Let's all
Yeah,
move to
let's
Anaheim.
go to Disneyland. Yeah. Oh, and we probably would be doing a disservice if we didn't do a quick review of the new snack we tried in downtown Disney.
Oh, yes. It's
Yes.
not that new, but it was new for us to
Oh,
finally
it was new
try
for
it.
me.
So it is a giant pickle
Mhm.
with a hot dog inside of it.
Yes,
Oh.
they've hollowed out the
And then-
pickle.
So they put the hot dog in the pickle,
Yep.
and then they panko bread like a corn dog dip. Oh, it's corn dog dip,
Corn dog
batter
dip.
dipped, and then rolled in panko.
And then deep
And
fry it.
they'd fry the whole thing, and then it's served with a cup of peanut butter for dipping. So you've got
I could
pickle,
totally
hot
get down
dog,
on
and
that.
peanut
Oh,
butter.
man.
Yeah, it was
very
delicious.
hearty.
Amazing.
Yes.
We knew we didn't have time to eat this thing. We were on our way to an event that we did for some of our agents. And so we were walking. It's between the main part of downtown Disney and the Disneyland Hotel. It's one of those kiosks right at the end there near the Lego store. It was about $10, but we would have to try this
They
thing.
make it fresh. When you order it, that's when they dip it and fry it. And so it's fresh and very hot.
The temperature of the sun when it comes out of that
very
thing, they
hot.
give it to you. But it was surprisingly good. I love
was
pickles
so
and hot
good.
dogs and peanut butter, but I don't know if I would have combined them all. But
I never would have, but I would eat that again. It was delicious and
sure.
weird.
I'd
So
love
weird.
to eat it when I had more time for it to cool down and me to eat it on top of a trash can.
So was it better, worse, or the same as Flo's? You guys ate there, of course, right?
No.
We did take some cute pictures in
Yes,
front
we
of it.
did.
I love the look of Flo's, and Cars Land is so amazing. But no, I did not go in there.
We didn't eat there. We rode Radiator Springs Racers and stopped to take a photo. But
that was the other
I would
thing
rather
we did with
eat
Max Pass or whatever.
Yeah,
Teeny
I would
Plus.
rather eat the deep fried pickle than anything at first. At Flo's. Yeah. I love all of the availability of corn dogs at Disneyland. We had a lot of
They
corn
do
dogs.
have a lot of corn
2
dogs.
days in a row, we had the regular corn dogs, and then we had the pickle corn dog. The corn dog stand at Disneyland is right in front of the plaza. It is so good.
Lunar New Year was going on, which I've never seen before.
What was your favorite
cool.
part, Heather? I had
cool.
so many.
Honestly, I just liked walking around and looking at it. It was beautiful. They have everything all done up in red and gold, and there's a lot of different things. They have food booths.
And
so
the
you
bao
can get,
buns, my goodness, they were good.
I heard that the noodles, I didn't try them, but I heard that they were advertised as spicy, and they were incredibly spicy. They had little spots where you could get your name written in Chinese characters, and you could write out a wish for the new year and hang it on the wall. And Mulan was heavily featured.
Apparently, there's a lot of Asians there in California.
Yeah.
I've not heard that previously.
It's the year of the tiger, so there was a lot of Tigger.
Yes. Yeah, he was cute.
Which is
They had
cute.
the little Tigger stuff. He's with the little Chinese cap and little jacket and stuff. Super
Very cute. And people got into it. We saw people decked out from head to toe in red and gold. And really
we had
enjoying them.
a group of Chinese guests that were in front of us the whole for Rise of the Resistance that were either coming from or going to the Lunar New Year thing, and they were all decked out.
It's great. It's a nice little, it's another one of those things about Disneyland that's different. You don't have anything like that in Orlando, and it was great. Yeah.
And they do their food and wine in the spring at California Adventure, which I like.
I think that's what's coming up next after Lunar New Year,
Because
right?
it's not hot there in the spring.
Yeah, and they do a lot of smaller, little, more limited run festivals. They do a
It really was a great trip. I missed it. I missed Disneyland, and it was nice to get back there.
They have turned. It opened, I think, like the day after we were there or the week after we were there. They have opened by the Wine Country Trattoria. There's this big patio that's been used as part of that, and as quick service. It's one of those seasonal things like Tortuga that seems never to be open. But now they have turned it into an annual pass holders exclusive lounge.
Oh,
Magic key holders.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool.
I'm in the parks.
On our own coast.
I noticed in the app that you could open up, and that was one of the things you could get in the Genie Plus was a reservation, a table for there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of DVC exclusive things, but I have not seen much in the way of annual pass holder exclusive things.
My big takeaway is that Disneyland is not the giant smoking hellhole that the Disneyland fans on the interwebs would have us believe.
No, not at all.
Glad to hear that
Disneyland?
The locals are not happy with.
I think they're mostly what they're not happy with is the new magic key holder and the fact that they don't have as much flexibility to just drop into the parks whenever they want.
They can't handle that. They can't handle park reservations.
They can't handle the truth.
That's right. So they just in general seem to think that they always seem to think that everything's gone downhill. And
from an outsider's perspective, I enjoyed it more because it wasn't as crowded with the locals who just come in, and especially the part of it, we were there over the weekend and it did not feel just terribly crowded and terrible long lines.
There's a bottleneck that runs from New Orleans, right when you round the corner from New Orleans Square into Adventureland, all the way back to the hub, that is just the worst thing to traverse. And it wasn't even crowded. There's still that weird bottleneck right at Magic Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
And the tree, because they put the Robinson Tree House right in the way.
We rode, one of the times we rode Indiana Jones, we rode in standby. And we waited 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. It was great. I think it was posted as 40, so we thought, you know what, let's try
I'm willing to do 40.
Yeah.
I think it was 18 or 19 minutes.
It was great.
Not bad at all. Good.
So highly recommend. It's time to get back out to
And
Disneyland.
fun fact for listeners, there are more rides in the 2 parks of the Disneyland Resort than there are in the 4 parks of Walt Disney World. And a hell of a lot easier to get to them all.
Absolutely.
No. Oh, the
And
Fantasyland there is insane. This is where I come back and I say, thanks for hanging out with us again this week. If you're excited to resist the urge to eat flows, then Key to the World or cross some other trip off your bucket list. Key to the World Travel has a Carthay Circle theater full of expert travel planners ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started with the no obligation quote. Don't forget to catch up with our friend, the Theme Park Professor, for all the latest theme park news and tips at www.themeparkprofessor.com. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globe-trotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest updates at www.goldkeyadventurers.com. We can't wait to hang out with you again next week. We'll see you real soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.